Beloved soul, if this message has found you today, perhaps it is not by accident. Life has a beautiful way of placing certain reminders in front of us exactly when we need them most. Not because we are being forced to listen, but because somewhere deep inside, our hearts are searching for clarity, peace, and understanding. There may have been moments recently when you felt overwhelmed by responsibilities, uncertain about the future, or simply tired from carrying emotional burdens that few people truly understand. Yet even in those moments, something within you continued moving forward. A quiet strength remained alive inside your spirit, guiding you through challenges that once seemed impossible to overcome. Sometimes we become so focused on what is missing that we forget to notice how much we have already survived. Think about everything you have faced over the years. Think about the disappointments that could have broken your confidence, the delays that tested your patience, and the moments when life seemed far more difficult than you expected. Yet here you are. Still standing. Still learning. Still growing. That alone is a reminder of how powerful your spirit truly is. You may not always recognize your own resilience because you live with it every day, but if someone else had walked your exact path, they would likely admire the strength it took to keep going. There are seasons in life when growth happens quietly. Nothing dramatic appears to change on the surface, yet deep within, important transformation is taking place. Your perspective becomes wiser. Your patience becomes stronger. Your understanding of yourself becomes deeper. These changes are easy to overlook because they happen gradually, but they are often the changes that matter most. They shape the way you respond to challenges, the way you treat yourself, and the way you move toward the future. You may have spent time wondering whether your efforts truly matter. Perhaps you have worked hard toward goals that seem slow to develop. Perhaps you have offered kindness without always receiving it in return. Perhaps you have continued believing in better days even when circumstances felt uncertain. If so, understand this: every act of perseverance carries value. Every step forward contributes to a larger story. Growth is rarely measured by a single moment. It is built through consistent choices made over time, often long before visible results appear. The beautiful thing about life is that new possibilities can emerge when we least expect them. A new idea, a new opportunity, a new friendship, a new perspective, or a new understanding can change the direction of a person's journey. These moments do not always arrive with loud announcements. Often they arrive quietly, through reflection, awareness, and a willingness to remain open to growth. The more you learn to trust the process of your own journey, the easier it becomes to recognize these opportunities when they appear. As you continue listening, allow yourself to release the pressure of needing every answer right now. You do not have to solve your entire future today. You do not need to carry every burden alone. What matters most is your willingness to keep moving forward with hope, patience, and trust in the strength that already exists within you. Life unfolds one step at a time, and sometimes the most meaningful chapters begin when we stop forcing outcomes and start appreciating the journey itself. Today, let this message remind you of something simple but powerful: you have already overcome more than you realize. You have already grown more than you give yourself credit for. And no matter where you are on your path, there is still room for new opportunities, meaningful experiences, deeper peace, and personal growth. Your story is still unfolding, and some of the most beautiful pages may not have been written yet. Beloved soul, as you continue staying present with this message, you may begin noticing that something deeper is quietly unfolding within your heart. What first felt like a simple reminder is slowly becoming a reflection about your journey, your growth, and the strength that has carried you through seasons you once thought would never end. Life has a way of teaching lessons that are not always understood while we are living through them. Sometimes we only recognize their value after enough time has passed for us to see how they shaped our perspective. The challenges that once felt overwhelming begin to look different. The worries that once occupied our thoughts lose some of their power. And the experiences that once seemed painful reveal lessons that helped us grow stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. There may have been moments when you felt as though your efforts were going unnoticed. You may have worked hard while waiting for results that seemed slow to arrive. You may have remained patient during periods of uncertainty and continued believing in better days even when circumstances gave you very little evidence to hold on to. Those moments were not meaningless. Every act of perseverance was building something within you. Every challenge was teaching you something valuable. Every day you continued moving forward was contributing to a version of yourself that is more resilient than before. Growth often happens quietly, hidden beneath the surface, long before it becomes visible to the outside world. You may also begin recognizing how much emotional strength you have developed through experiences that once felt difficult. There were situations that tested your patience, moments that challenged your confidence, and seasons that required more courage than you thought you possessed. Yet despite those difficulties, you continued learning and adapting. You discovered that strength is not always loud. Sometimes strength looks like showing up when you feel tired. Sometimes it looks like choosing kindness when life feels unfair. Sometimes it looks like continuing to hope when results are not immediate. These quiet forms of courage often create the deepest transformation because they shape the foundation of who you become. The calmer your mind becomes, the easier it is to appreciate how much progress has already taken place. Too often people focus on how far they still want to go and forget to acknowledge how far they have already come. They measure themselves against goals not yet achieved rather than recognizing the growth that has already occurred. Yet if you pause and look honestly at your journey, you may see evidence of change everywhere. You may notice greater patience, deeper understanding, stronger boundaries, healthier perspectives, or increased confidence. These changes matter because they reveal that your efforts have been producing results, even if those results appeared gradually. There may have been times when you questioned your path. Perhaps you wondered whether you were moving in the right direction or whether your dreams would ever become reality. Those doubts are part of being human. Everyone experiences moments of uncertainty. Yet uncertainty does not mean you are lost. Often it simply means you are growing. Growth requires stepping into situations where all the answers are not immediately available. It requires trusting that clarity will come through experience, learning, and continued effort. The fact that you kept moving forward despite uncertainty is evidence of your resilience. You may also begin noticing that your relationship with hope is becoming stronger. Hope is not about ignoring reality or pretending that difficulties do not exist. Hope is about recognizing that challenges are not permanent. It is the belief that progress remains possible even when circumstances are imperfect. It is the understanding that your future contains opportunities that you cannot yet fully see. This type of hope creates emotional stability because it is rooted in trust rather than temporary circumstances. As your awareness continues expanding, you may start seeing opportunities where you once saw limitations. A challenge may become a lesson. A delay may become preparation. A disappointment may reveal a new direction that ultimately serves you better. Perspective has the power to transform experience. When you learn to view life through the lens of growth rather than defeat, new possibilities begin revealing themselves. This does not eliminate difficulties, but it changes the way you respond to them. Instead of feeling trapped by obstacles, you begin looking for the lessons and opportunities hidden within them. There is also something important to remember about your future: it has not been written yet. No matter what happened yesterday, today still offers new possibilities. New relationships can form. New opportunities can appear. New skills can be developed. New ideas can inspire change. Every day provides another chance to move closer toward the person you want to become. The future remains open, and within that openness exists tremendous potential. As this part of the message settles within your heart, allow yourself to appreciate the resilience that has brought you this far. Honor the challenges you have survived. Acknowledge the wisdom you have gained. Recognize the growth that has occurred even during seasons when progress felt invisible. Your story is still unfolding. There are chapters ahead that you have not yet experienced. There are opportunities waiting to be discovered. And there are strengths within you that may still be waiting to emerge. Stay connected to this understanding. Continue believing in your ability to learn, grow, and adapt. Continue trusting that every step forward matters, even when results seem gradual. Because the patience, resilience, wisdom, and hope you are developing today are creating a foundation for a future filled with greater clarity, confidence, peace, and purpose. And often, the most meaningful changes begin not with dramatic events, but with quiet moments of awareness that remind us how much potential already exists within us. Beloved soul, as you move deeper into this message, allow yourself to become fully present with this moment. There is something powerful about slowing down long enough to hear the quiet truths that often get lost beneath the noise of everyday life. So much of our time is spent thinking about what comes next, worrying about future outcomes, revisiting past experiences, or carrying responsibilities that demand our attention. Yet in the middle of all that movement, there are moments when life gently invites us to pause and recognize how much growth has already taken place within us. This is one of those moments. Not because everything in life has suddenly become perfect, but because your perspective may be ready to see your journey through a different lens. You may have spent years believing that strength meant never struggling, never doubting, and never feeling uncertain. Yet experience has likely shown you something very different. True strength is not the absence of difficulty. True strength is continuing to move forward despite difficulty. It is the ability to keep learning when answers are unclear, to keep trying when results are delayed, and to keep believing in possibilities even when circumstances are challenging. When you look back on your own story, you may begin noticing countless examples of this kind of strength. There were moments when you felt tired but continued anyway. There were moments when you felt discouraged but refused to give up. There were moments when you did not know exactly what to do next, yet somehow you found a way to keep moving forward. The beautiful thing about growth is that it rarely happens in the way we expect. People often imagine transformation as a dramatic event that changes everything overnight. Yet many of the most meaningful changes happen gradually. They happen through small decisions repeated consistently over time. They happen through lessons learned from experience. They happen through conversations, reflections, challenges, and moments of awareness that slowly reshape how we see ourselves and the world around us. Because these changes are gradual, they are sometimes difficult to notice while they are happening. Yet when enough time passes, the difference becomes clear. You realize you think differently. You respond differently. You understand yourself more deeply than before. There may have been seasons when you felt stuck, as though life was not moving as quickly as you hoped. You may have wondered whether your efforts were making a difference. You may have questioned whether the goals you were pursuing would ever become reality. Those feelings are understandable. Every meaningful journey includes periods of uncertainty. Yet uncertainty does not mean that progress has stopped. In many cases, progress continues beneath the surface long before visible results appear. Just as roots grow underground before a tree reaches upward, personal development often occurs long before others can see its effects. Your patience, discipline, resilience, and understanding have all been growing, even during moments when progress felt invisible. The calmer your thoughts become, the more clearly you begin recognizing the value of your experiences. Every challenge taught something important. Every disappointment revealed a lesson. Every setback encouraged growth in areas that may have otherwise remained undeveloped. This does not mean difficult experiences were easy or enjoyable. It means they were not meaningless. They contributed to your understanding of life. They helped shape your priorities. They revealed strengths that might never have emerged under easier circumstances. And because of that, they became part of the foundation you now stand upon. You may also begin noticing that your relationship with yourself is evolving. There may have been times when you judged yourself too harshly or focused primarily on what you believed was lacking. Yet with greater awareness comes a healthier perspective. You begin understanding that growth is not about perfection. It is about progress. It is about learning, adapting, improving, and continuing forward even when mistakes occur. The more compassion you extend toward yourself, the easier it becomes to grow without carrying unnecessary emotional weight. Self-respect and self-understanding create space for confidence to develop naturally. At the same time, there is a growing awareness that your future still contains possibilities you have not yet imagined. It is easy to assume that life will continue exactly as it has been, but the truth is that change remains possible. New opportunities can emerge unexpectedly. New ideas can shift your perspective. New relationships can bring encouragement and insight. New goals can inspire action. The future remains open, and because it remains open, there is room for experiences that may surprise you in positive ways. You may also begin recognizing the importance of gratitude in your journey. Gratitude does not require perfect circumstances. It simply invites you to notice what is already meaningful. Perhaps there are lessons you now appreciate that once seemed frustrating. Perhaps there are people whose support has helped you more than you realized. Perhaps there are strengths within yourself that deserve greater recognition. Gratitude helps expand perspective because it reminds us that life contains more than problems alone. It contains opportunities, connections, growth, and moments of beauty that deserve attention as well. As this message continues unfolding, allow yourself to reflect on everything that has brought you to this point. Reflect on the resilience you have demonstrated, the lessons you have learned, and the ways you have grown through experiences that once seemed overwhelming. Every challenge you faced contributed to your understanding. Every obstacle helped develop your strength. Every season shaped your perspective. None of it was wasted. Every part of your journey has contributed to the person you are becoming today. Stay connected to this understanding. Continue trusting the process of growth. Continue believing in your ability to learn, adapt, and create positive change. Continue appreciating the progress you have already made while remaining open to everything still possible. Because the wisdom, resilience, confidence, and hope you are developing are creating a foundation for a future filled with greater peace, purpose, fulfillment, and opportunity. And sometimes, the most meaningful chapters of our lives begin when we finally recognize how much strength has been within us all along. Beloved soul, as you arrive at this final part of the message, allow yourself to take a slow breath and reflect on everything that has been placed upon your heart throughout this journey. What began as a simple invitation to pause has gradually become something deeper, a reminder of your resilience, your growth, your ability to overcome challenges, and the quiet strength that has carried you through every season of your life. There is something profoundly meaningful about reaching a moment where you can look back and recognize that despite every setback, every disappointment, every delay, and every unanswered question, you continued moving forward. You may not always have felt confident. There may have been days when uncertainty felt stronger than hope. Yet even during those moments, you kept going. And that alone reveals more about your character than you may fully realize. Life often teaches its greatest lessons through experience rather than explanation. Some truths can only be understood after we have lived through the circumstances that reveal them. There may have been moments when you wished certain challenges had never happened. There may have been experiences you would never choose to repeat. Yet as time passes, perspective begins to change. You start seeing that even difficult seasons contributed something valuable. They taught patience where impatience once existed. They developed courage where fear once dominated. They strengthened resilience where doubt once lingered. They helped shape a version of you that is more capable, more understanding, and more prepared for the future than you were before. You may begin noticing that many of the qualities you value most within yourself were developed through situations that tested you. Your wisdom may have grown through mistakes. Your compassion may have grown through hardship. Your determination may have grown through challenges. Your appreciation for meaningful relationships may have grown through periods of loneliness. When viewed through this perspective, Even the difficult chapters of your story begin revealing a deeper purpose. They were not simply obstacles standing in your way. They were experiences helping shape the person you are becoming. This realization can bring a sense of peace because it reminds you that growth often emerges from places where we least expect it. The calmer your heart becomes, the easier it is to recognize how much progress has already taken place. Too often people become focused on what remains unfinished. They think about goals not yet achieved, questions not yet answered, and dreams not yet realized. Yet there is tremendous value in pausing long enough to appreciate how far you have already come. There was once a version of you who did not know what you know now. There was once a version of you who had not yet developed the resilience you currently possess. Every challenge you faced added something valuable to your journey. Every lesson you learned contributed to your understanding. And every step forward helped create the foundation you stand on today. There may have been moments when you doubted whether your efforts truly mattered. You may have worked hard without seeing immediate results. You may have invested energy into goals that seemed slow to develop. You may have continued believing in possibilities even when evidence appeared limited. Yet meaningful growth is rarely immediate. The most lasting transformations often happen gradually, through consistent effort over time. Confidence develops through experience. Wisdom develops through reflection. Success develops through persistence. And the future you hope to create is built one choice, one habit, and one day at a time. The fact that progress feels gradual does not mean it is absent. It simply means that important things often require patience. You may also begin understanding that your future is not defined by your past. The mistakes you made do not determine your potential. The disappointments you experience do not limit what is possible. Every new day creates another opportunity to learn, improve, and move forward with greater awareness. This understanding is empowering because it reminds you that your story remains unfinished. There are chapters ahead that you have not yet experienced. There are opportunities waiting to be discovered. There are strengths within you that may still be waiting to emerge. And there are moments of joy, connection, achievement, and growth that may arrive when you least expect them. At the same time, gratitude becomes an increasingly powerful part of the journey. Gratitude does not require perfect circumstances. It simply asks you to notice what is already meaningful. Perhaps there are lessons you now appreciate that once felt frustrating. Perhaps there are relationships that have supported you through difficult seasons. Perhaps there are qualities within yourself that deserve greater recognition. Gratitude expands perspective because it reminds us that life contains more than challenges alone. It contains opportunities, connections, growth, and experiences worth appreciating. And when gratitude becomes part of your daily perspective, it often becomes easier to notice the abundance that already exists around you. You may also discover that confidence is growing from a healthier place. Not confidence based on perfection, but confidence based on trust. Trust in your ability to learn. Trust in your ability to adapt. Trust in your ability to recover from setbacks and continue moving forward. This kind of confidence creates stability because it does not depend on circumstances always going your way. It comes from knowing that whatever challenges arise, you have already proven your ability to face them with resilience and determination. You have survived difficult seasons before, and that experience becomes evidence of your strength moving forward. As this final message settles within your heart, allow yourself to embrace the possibility that some of the most meaningful experiences of your life may still be ahead of you. New opportunities can appear. New friendships can form. New ideas can inspire growth. New goals can create excitement and purpose. The future remains unwritten, and because it remains unwritten, it contains possibilities that cannot yet be fully seen. This is one of life's greatest gifts. No matter what happened yesterday, tomorrow still holds potential. So continue moving forward with patience. Continue trusting the process of growth. Continue appreciating the progress you have already made while remaining open to everything still possible. Honor the lessons of the past, but do not allow them to limit your future. Believe in your ability to continue learning, adapting, and creating positive change. And remember that every step you take, no matter how small, contributes to a larger story, a story of resilience, wisdom, growth, purpose, and hope that is still unfolding one day at a time. Your journey matters. Your growth matters. And the best chapters of your story may still be waiting to be written. Comment, "I trust my journey and my growth," if this message resonated with your heart. Like this video to affirm hope, gratitude, and personal growth. Subscribe for more uplifting messages that encourage peace, purpose, resilience, and emotional well-being.